Hello everyone. I'm so excited about today's video. It's all about coloring books and how to create coloring books, all the ins and outs of that. So let's get started. I'm in the portal. I'm going to create a new project. Um, Actually, I wanted to start a collection first, so let's create a collection. Oh, apparently I need to sign in. Gotten signed out somehow. So I'm going to go to collections and I'm going to create a collection. And I'm just going to call this coloring books. And I don't need a cover image. I'm just going to create the collection. So there's my collection. Now I'm going to go back to projects and I'm going to first create my project. Okay, and it is going to be a coloring book. And we are creating, and I want to add it to my coloring book project. There we go. And we're doing our puppy coloring book. So now here's where it's a little different because we're not going to use Creative Studio to create the assets because we have a new GPT. So I'm going to mark that as complete because we're not going to use that. We're going to use ImageUp, so I'm going to leave that. We don't need Asset Pack Creator or Layout Studio or Canva. I know, it's crazy. All right, so what we do need is, let's go to Quick Launch. And we are going to use the new Coloring Book Factory and Coloring Book Creator. So I already have those open in my tabs up here. So the first thing is our new GPT is Coloring Book Factory. So what it does is it helps you plan and create all of the images for your coloring books. And I'm going to tell it I want to create a 50-page coloring book for preschoolers, all with cute puppies in different scenarios. Okay, so because I know what I want to create, I can just type that in there and create it. But if you don't know what you want, then you can just say, let's get started. And it will give you the prompts. All right, so what do you want to create? Character, educational, story, whatever you want to do. So, and then you just go through the prompts. So let's say let's see, a complete coloring book, and then it'll ask you what kind. Let's say ocean life. And we're going to say 2 to 4. How many pages do we want? Let's say 40. We're going to say both Etsy and KDP. Page size and orientation. So we want 8.5 by 11 inches. Portrait. And then it asks you what type. So I'm going to want cute and friendly. I think I'm just going to take A and C. Okay. Now it asks about recurring characters. Let's say one main ocean character with different friends. That way I can show you how to do consistent characters. Okay, so let's say C. And then I love sea turtles, so let's say B. Suggest names. Oh, I like Tukey. Let's say B, heart inspired. Big round eyes, happy smile. Create master style block. Okay. Now we want to create our page plan. And then it will tell you about the story that the coloring book is going to go through. Fun, 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 all 40 pages. Okay. And then it's going to do consistent characters. Okay, perfect. So let's do create prototype just to see if we like the way that it's coming out. Okay, that turned out really cute. But here is a good opportunity to talk about bleed versus no bleed. Okay? Bleed means that your image, parts of your image, will go all the way to the edge of the page when it's formatted for printing. So when they format it for printing, they do have to trim a bit around each page. So this would be considered bleed with bleed because it doesn't have enough margin around the edges to uh, allow for the entire um, image in the center to not be on the edges of the paper. I kind of fumbled that, but that's okay. So this would be considered with bleed, okay? And we have a master prompt that I'm going to give you that it will help you with bleed and no bleed. So don't get upset about that, but we're just going to go through the prototype. Okay, love the prototype. So then it'll say, great, I'll mark that as the approved reference page. It's going to make um, all of the images now one by one for you. But I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do that. But you can go through and create each image one by one, and you just say, create the next one through each image in the Coloring Book Factory, and then download all of your images. But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to use PromptRunnr because I am lazy. So what I'm going to do instead is tell it to give me all the prompts in a downloadable text file in this format. And then I have our master prompt, which is I want no bleed. So I'm going to use this prompt, and you guys will have access to this, okay? In this format, okay, replacing scene with our prompts with each, sorry. Format the text file as one prompt per line. And then I'm going to upload the example prompt file from PromptRunnr. Following the example upload exactly. Okay, so let's see if it gives me what I need here. Okay, so now it gave me the text file, so I'm just going to download the text file. No. And then I'm going to open PromptRunnr and open Coloring Book Factory. And then I'm going to choose my prompt file that it just created for me. And it says it has 40 prompts found. Perfect. So I want to choose the folder that I want these to be output to. So I'm just going to create a new folder and select that folder. But the first image that I want it to make is just a copyright image. So I'm just going to type in there, create a white page with my front matter. And then I'm just going to type all of that in. Okay, so I'm just going to have it create that image. And then we're going to start our prompts. That's fine. So now I'm going to tell it just to run my prompts. So I'm just going to tell it to start here, and it's going to start making all of my pages. So then this can go down here, and it'll be making my pages while I'm getting all of my other stuff ready. So now what I want to do is I want to ask Coloring Book Factory for the KDP information, listing, description, title, categories, all of that. So let's create the Amazon KDP listing for this coloring book. Give me 3 categories that best suit the content. Listing title, subtitle, description, back cover, blurb. Okay, so now we have our listing title, subtitle, description, and our back cover blurb. So now all we have to do is wait for our, oh yes, I do need the keywords, keyword phrases. There we go. Okay, so now let's ask it to go ahead and create the front cover, full color, add callouts to show features, and add title. Okay, so it's going to make us our image for our cover. Okay, that is super cute. So we're going to use that. I'm going to download that. And then we are just waiting for PromptRunnr to finish our images. So we will just wait for that. While PromptRunnr is finishing, I'm going to come over to Coloring Book Creator and I'm going to get it set up to create my coloring book. So a lot of places they tell you to create your coloring book in Canva and just upload your images and then download as PDF, but it has to be PDF for print. So you can definitely upload all of your images to Canva, but you want to make sure that when you download the PDF that you choose print optimized. Okay. And then with Coloring Book Creator, you can add blank pages between the designs. Um, and you can choose bleed or no bleed. So it defaults to no bleed, which is what we're creating. So this is ready for when my PromptRunnr finishes. Let's just open her up and see. We've got 4 more images to create, so we will just wait on that. I guess I can tell you how PromptRunnr works. It's a desktop tool for Mac and Windows, and you just open it up and open up your coloring book or whatever GPT you want to use, and then you select a prompt file, which you save on your computer, and it gives you a sample of how to set up that text file. It's just one prompt per line in the text file. And then you choose your image folder that you want to download all of your images to. Then you just tell it to start, and it will go through and do all of your prompts one by one from that text file, so you don't have to babysit Chatty forever and ever. And you can change the amount of time that it wants to that it waits and all of that. And then of course, you know how Chatty sometimes it won't create the image or it errors out or something. You can always go in here just like regular Chatty. This is your regular Chatty, and just ask it to regenerate the image or edit the image, whatever you want to do. And then you can stop it or pause it. And it has a quick start guide that comes with it and all of that. And you guys will have the link below here. Okay, our PromptRunnr is finished, so I'm just going to tell it to download all of those images. And then we're going to upscale all of our images in either upscale or image up. So obviously Academy, we're going to use image up. Now we need to talk about DPI because we just created all of these images in Chatty, and even though we told them the exact dimensions and the exact pixels, it's still not going to do it correctly. So what we need to do is look at one of our images and look at the dimensions. Okay, so the dimensions are 1103 by 1426. Now if we are doing an 8.5 by 11 inch coloring book, each image needs to be 2250 by 3300 pixels. Okay, so you just take your inches that you want and take it times 300. It's really not that complicated. It works. Um, so so we need to upscale this, and we need to go overboard it just a little bit, okay? Because times 2 wouldn't be enough. So times 3 is too much, but times 3 is the option we have. So we're going to upscale by 3. And like I said, you can use upscale um, or um, or image up, whatever you want to do. So we're going to use image up. So just going to open up image up, and I'm going to go to the folder. Here's my images. I'm just going to select those images as my input folder, and then I'm going to create a new folder to output. Here we go. And then I'm going to keep the original background. We don't have to remove the background, and I'm going to save them all as JPG. So just going to process all the images, and it's going to go through and upscale them all, and then we'll have them all in a nice folder that we can upload to Coloring Book Creator. Okay, image up is done. So now in Coloring Book Creator, all I'm going to do is select all of my upscaled images. I'm not going to put the cover in there because that's a separate step. Obviously, you see this fancy cover builder tab here. So it's just going to upload all of those, and it's looking at all of my images and saying, this is edge to edge, there's no safety margin. So it's telling me, because I have it set to no bleed, that some of my images are going to be outside the margin, and KDP would be like, hey, this is not okay if you chose no bleed. That's okay. What I would do is just go back and edit my prompts a little bit so that it doesn't have that. I know what the problem is. It made like a little line around some of the images, but we're just going to move forward. So we have the file built with no bleed. So, and I need this copyright, this one, because this needs to be the first page. So I'm just going to drag and drop it up here. So I make sure that that's the first page, because this is going to create our interior pages. So then I'm just going to export it to PDF. Yes, I know. It gave me a hey, heads up. So it's going to process that and give me that coloring book. So now you have a full coloring book ready to upload to KDP. So we have our interior pages with a consistent character throughout, and we have our cover ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if you have any problems or questions or something didn't make sense. And I can't wait to see what you create this week. Now, if you don't have access to all of our tools in Academy, here's a tip for creating consistent characters with ChatGPT. So I'm just going to go back to my chat, my coloring book factory, but this will work in your regular GPT. Just open up one and ask it to create the characters that you want. And then once you get the individual characters that you want, and you want them to stay that way, then you ask them to create a character sheet of the characters in this chat. So then it will make a one-page sheet of all of your characters that you're working with, and then you can save that as an image, and then each time you put in a new prompt, you just add that character sheet to before the prompt as an uploaded file, and it'll keep it more on on brand for you, and go by the character sheet. Is it perfect? No, of course not. But is anything? No. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. If you want to join us in the Academy, we'd love to have you. Um, See, here's our character sheet. It's going to make Dookie and the octopus and the stingray. So Tukey's going to stay um, the same throughout the whole book as we make it. So uh, I'll see you guys next time, and the links are down below in the video, in the description.